Welcome to another tutorial with B. Today we're gonna talk about the 5 things that we see people getting wrong on LinkedIn. What they are doing that is not really the thing that you should be doing on LinkedIn. And you might be doing one of them. Like, it's nothing like crazy, like, but I'm gonna run you through them. So number 1 is sharing too much personal stuff that has got nothing to do with your business, or it is in no relation to your business. So I'll give you an example. Like, for example, like I would sometimes share some stories about how like I've done a post about how the blower, like the leaf blower, gets me going. But when I share that story, like I intertwine it with business. I say this reminds me of how, like for me, this is very inefficient using a leaf blower, and so I think it's the same thing with social media. If you do it incorrectly, you may as well just blow the leaves onto someone else's garden. So that is sort of how I intertwine it then. And I think that's where sometimes people just share like pictures wildly from when they are out, and then, like with their family and friends. And I'm sure you would have seen posts like this, and you're like, what is this doing on LinkedIn? What does it have to do with business? Yes, of course, it gets good engagement because people like to see other people. So I have some pictures where I'm out and about, but you have to be careful with how you do that. Like, you always want to go back to business. So there has to be a strategy when you do that. Not just because you think, well, I'll get more likes, because people like seeing people and pictures, right? So that's definitely a thing that I totally agree with. But you want it to work for you with your business and with your strategy. The next one is that the messaging is only about them, not about you, the reader. So it's when, like, maybe someone is just overselling everything, right? Like, then none of the posts are actually about, like, what do you need to have to make an informed decision, a buying decision from me. So let's say, what is a good example for this? Like, but let's say you just want to say all the time, like, book an appointment with me now, like this is, we can help you get your tax right. But if you don't give any tax tips, that is, like you want to give some tips, you want to share some testimonials, you want to share some case studies, something that is holistic and is not just about selling and booking an appointment. Because would you book an appointment? You need to talk about what your audience wants to know so that they can make an informed buying decision and build trust with you. Next one is they have no graphics. So of course, some posts work like that. It works sometimes well for some people, but generally it doesn't, because people are very visual. If they see a picture or like a graphic that is catching their attention first, unless you've got like some really crazy captions that you're going with, generally I always say have a graphic, because it also aligns with your brand. Like, you've got your logo on there, you've got your brand colors on there, your font, you have everything on there that screams your brand, right? So just make sure that you have a graphic that is representing your brand and also telling the story about what the post is about. Captions are too long is another one. So that will be number 4. So there is that the people often just use AI, put it in there and just say, write me a post. And it just blurbs out this entire like A4-page document that no one has got time to read. So if you use AI, use it wisely. Totally agree, you should be using AI, but like some people, like no one's going to read it. There is no soul, there's nothing in it. So make sure it's interesting to read and it's to the point. People's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. Other thing is that we see often is people just resharing articles and they think that's a strategy. So some people and in the good, absolutely, if someone has shared a great post, or like maybe the government has brought out a new scheme and you want to share that, like, cool, but don't do that only, because like we've actually just had a meeting with a potential lead, and they're kind of doing that, and I was like, it's not a strategy. No one is really interested in that. So you got to be careful with that as well. So these are the top 5. So 1, oversharing personal information or pictures and stuff. Messaging is all about them. It's not about the reader. You've got no graphics, captions are too long, and the last one is resharing articles. Thanks for watching.